Vine's POV flashback. Me and Jimin were sitting on the couch when he abruptly stood up, making me flinch. Men came running inside the mansion. Sir, everything is ready. Let's not waste time. About to go but turn around to face confused Ryan. Don't go outside, okay? Where are you going? Tai. What happened? I can't track them anymore. Perhaps due to weak signals. Don't worry, nothing will go wrong, reassured Vine as he and his men ran outside. What? I was right. He's in danger. What if? No, never. I saw Jimin and their men leaving the mansion. There were few guards left behind for me. I called Bella and asked her to come to the mansion. She was nearby, so she showed up in 5 minutes. I ordered the guard to let her in. What happened? Hugs one. I need your help. Whispered in Bella's ear and broke the hug after. At your service. Thank you. Let's go. Took Bella's hand and went towards kitchen. A sudden loud noise of glass breaking was heard. Are you crazy, Vine? Yelled loudly as she saw Vine's hand bleeding. Just play along. Guards! Guards entered hastily and bowed immediately. Clean up this mess and bring the first aid kit. I hurt my hand, ordered all the guards. While one man went in search of a first aid kit, the other 2 men began cleaning. I grabbed confused Bella's hand as I made my way through the living room and out onto the porch. Bella's car was parked in the porch, so I went on the back seats and lowered myself to hide myself from guards standing on the main gate. Bella started the engine and drove us out of the mansion. To the location of Kai's secret mansion. My loved ones are in danger. Climbed onto the front seat from the back and took Kai's out. They are lucky to have you. Smiles and shift gears to accelerate the car even more. Yeah, they surely did hit the jackpot. Attempting to lighten the mood because she knows that upcoming crashes will be intense enough to kill anyone. Bella drove too fast and we knew that the exact location, so we reached early. I loaded my and exited the car. Bella was about to come out too, but I stopped her. Stay in car as you don't have any weapon. Keep the car ready in case you need to get us away quickly. But no worries. Jimin will be here any moment, so don't worry. I ran inside the mansion. I could hear men behind me. Jimin's men or guys, I don't know. I went to the living room and saw men standing in the room beside living room. I took a closer look and my words slipped under my feet. My blood boiled and heart raced looking at my thigh, drenched in, kneeling on the ground, being seized by numerous men on a gunpoint. Without wasting a single minute, I pointed my weapon towards Sky, aimed at his head, and unregretfully pulled the trigger. Jimin sitting behind me. Present time. I looked behind and our eyes locked. I felt weak all of a sudden. What if I was late? Tear escaped through my eyes by looking at my home, my love. However, before I could run into his arms, guys came in and started fighting. Jimin and his men were quick to fight back and time also regained his strength. It looked like someone unleashed a beast in his form. He was literally tearing his rivals apart. Where is she? Have they found her yet or no? Yuqi? Her voice cracked as she saw her little one in the worst condition. I ran towards my sister and Jackie. I was about to get by one of the men, but Taehyung shielded me and revived them back. I still did not come to my senses as I numbly went towards my sister and hugged her as Jackie backed away, stood up with a painful groan, and started fighting with men who were approaching us. Yuqi began to struggle in my embrace because of the torment she had experienced and her poor mental state. Yuqi, it's me, your sister. Shook Yuqi by gripping her shoulders and whispered last part while crying looking at her sister's condition. Crying loudly while hugging my entire. Where were you? Questioned weakly while crying and sobbing. I just cried and stared at her devastated state, blaming myself for everything. Path is almost clear. Let's leave this place quickly, ordered everyone. I stood up holding Yuqi as she is unable to walk by herself. Jimin came from the other side and held Yuqi. Yuqi was following us while Taehyung walked in front to make sure no one could hurt us. Our remaining men had us covered. We went outside and as we were walking, I looked up and saw a man hiding in a tree. He was aiming his at Tae. He was about to pull the trigger. My eyes widened. There was no time for screaming, so I left Yuqi's side and sprinted towards Tae. I pushed him aside and felt an excruciating burning sensation rip through my ribcage on my left side. My body jerked backward, and I collapsed to the ground, gasping for air. Whine, angrily cried towards the man who, and his lifeless body fell down from the pool, grimacing in pain. I ran towards Vine and took her in his warm embrace, while Yuqi passed out upon witnessing her elder sister get hurt. Everyone was in shock. Doug, don't close your eyes. Please look at me. Trembling as tears escaped from his eyes. It burns. It's like fire inside me. Voice cracked as the pain intensifies. I wrapped his jacket around her ribs tightly to stop the blood flow. Took her in the bridal style and stood up. Bella arrived with car right away, and Taehyung got in without delaying a second. Bella drove as fast as she could while crying. Vine's senses become overwhelmed. Every breath becomes a battle, and each heartbeat echoes in her ears like a relentless drum. She feels shock setting in, and her body trembles uncontrollably. She clutches her arm as she tries to stop the blood flow. Her vision blurs, and the edges of the world become hazy. Her breath gets shallower, and the world begins to fade. Thanks, POV. She took and gave life for me. She was struggling to breathe in my embrace, and I can't do anything. Love, why you did this, huh? His lips trembled as he asked her softly while crying. Vine looked in his eyes with her half-opened eyes and smiled weakly as her breath shortened. Is it a good time to tell you how beautiful your eyes are? Breathed heavily as tears escaped from her eyes in pain. Sobbed harder as his breathing became heavy too. Drive fast. Precious, don't close your eyes, please. Took her lightly and groaned in pain. Did I ever obey you? Spoke with difficulty as her eyes were closing. No, please, listen to me for the last time. I won't ask you for anything ever again. Hugs her tightly and cried in horror. Tell me how you felt when you saw me for the first time. Broke the heart and asked, trying to divert her mind from pain and keep her conscious. In order to get my forgiveness. As she smiled one final time and gasped for air, his tears rained on her cheeks. No, don't leave me again. I love you. Please, I love you, I swear. Embraced her pale, lifeless body and cried like never before.